Hello, welcome back to the FA Championship 2027 Season 5 here in Austria for the Austrian Grand Prix here at the Red Bull Ring. And if you just tune in after a crazy midway through race in Montreal, Canada, my oh my, what does Austria have to bring? So much drama, so much tension happens in Canada. We lost two drivers that was in the fight for the championship. What's going to happen here? Well, we got a lot of questions to ask because things are getting really high stake, I gotta say, and the championship is getting really close as Ruby picks up the pieces to win it out in Canada. My goodness, it's crazy stuff. But we're here in Austria, the shortest track of the season, consisting of a total of only 10 corners and 3 DRS zones. That's it. That is the only opportunity where you can make some great overtakes. And my oh my, we've seen some great Austrian Grand Prix in the past, and this is what the championship looks like after a crazy Canadian GP. And it is the likes of Naz leading the way, Claudia actually leading the way, Naz in second, Ruby in third, then Kaden, Washer, Emily, King Rasa, Josh, Rose, Lily, Zai, Maddie, Shay, Fritton, Saraya, Brandon Al, then Terrace, Agent Matty, and DJ. And then we have the Indoor Constructors Championship. McLaren Chrome still leading the way. Motorsport now in second after that brilliant win. Visa Balls in third, then Williams, Lambo Tradizone, McLaren Shadow, Lambo Neon, Red Bull, Peugeot E-Drive, and Alpine Reyes. That is your championship standings. And my, if you're Naz, if you're like Claudia, you didn't score any points last time out in Canada, you got a lot of work to do, and you got to pray that you can get some points today, because Ruby is on their tail after that win. She has clawed her way back in this championship fight, and Kaden, she's dropped off. What can McLaren Chrome do? Well, this is the time where they need payback, because this is the starting grid for the Austrian Grand Prix, and it's Naz on pole position with Ruby starting in second place. Claudia will start third for the McLaren Chrome. Washer, he will start in fourth. He has to get a brilliant result for the Williams team, as Rose starting fifth. Josh B, great result for him, starting P6, with Maddie starting 7th for Visa Balls. Kaylin, disappointing qualifying for her, starting in 8th. With Lily, she will start in 9th place. Emily, right at the top 10, start in 10th. Battle qualifying for her after consistent brilliant race results. Agents in 11th, then Fritton will start in 12th. Shay, he will start in 13th, but Terry starting in 14th. Then we have the likes of Saraya starting in 50th for Lambo Tradizone. Matty, he will start in 16th, and Brandon Al will start 17th. The Peugeot E-Drive, Zydia start 18th, and your boy King Razza, the reigning champion, disappointed qualifying for him today, start 19th, and DJ round the field in 20th. Peugeot E-Drive had a horrible qualifying, but let me tell you something, Agent, he started in 12th. That's a great result for him. Maybe Alpine, maybe they could get some points today. Who knows? Well, we're going to find out right now, because it's time for the Austrian Grand Prix. The 5 red lights are up on your screens. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. Naz got off the line very well, I'm gonna say. And now we head into the lights on turn 1. Ruby had a deadly disappointing start, gonna say, but she managed to hang on to Prix, or does she? Because Claudia's gonna try and find him back. Up the hill we go into turn 3. Claudia, I think she might have the inside, but Ruby managed to hold on line and stays in second place. And oh, we got a safety car. There's a big crash on the back. Matty's involved. Terry's involved, his car is on fire, he's out of the race, and Saraya is out of the race. Carnage on the first few laps of, wow, the first few paying corners of the lap here in Austria, and Agent, he's involved. Oh dear, that's not what he wants. And DJ, he was involved as well. I think he got caught up, but Agent, front wing damage, that's the first safety car of the race, and we just lost Terrace and Saraya. Oh, that's disappointing for Terrace. 5-second points for him, but disappointing for Saraya. That's her second DNF in a row, because last time I remember she had a big crash with Naz in Canada, Montreal. So it's turning into a very disappointing start to the second half of the season for Soraya, but we've got to get back racing because the safety car is ending, and Naz is going to lead us back to green flag racing. Naz got a great launch out of the line as we go back green flag racing here in the Red Bull Ring, and Naz through turn 1 had a great start. Ruby second, Claudia third, Rose in fourth. But watch actually trying to catch up to the likes of Emily. He had a horrible start actually for this race. He's down to P9. Wow, I was not expecting that for Washer, but yeah, he lost a lot of positions. And there goes Matty down the inside of the likes of Brandon L. As we head out of the lines of turn 3, coming up into turn 4. Ruby stays there in second place, but Claudia, she's dropping a little bit, a little bit behind of Naz and Ruby. So hold on a minute, McLaren Chrome, they are definitely struggling around here in Austria today. I don't know if they had, maybe it had something to do with their poor performance, what happened in Canada. Both drivers got involved with so many incidents. Claudia made an awful mistake in the World Champions last time in Canada that forcing her to retire, unfortunately. So I don't know, but I just feel like Claudia, she's definitely struggling out there, and I think she's about to get overtaken by Rose. There we go, Rose making the move. She's up into P3, 2-3 for Connor Sport, and the rain might be coming here because Zai and your boy King Razza had just come into the pits for the Inters. So rain might be on the way to change things in this race, and you can see the droplets on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen. The rain is here, so this is going to prove something very challenging for these drivers. Who's going to pit? This is all about strategy here in the Red Bull Ring. It's kicking off. It's definitely kicking off. Is Naz going to come in? Because the rain is absolutely falling down, and she is in. But Ruby and the likes of Rose, Connor Sport continue on. So that's interesting. Connor Sport continue on. I don't know what they're trying to do, but that's a very odd strategy. But everyone else, they'll come into the pits. Oh well, wow, not Kaylin. Kaylin, Rose and Ruby, they stayed out. But yeah, I'm very shocked that Kaylin, Rose and Ruby did not come into the pits. Well, I actually understand why Kaylin come into pits, because I don't think McLaren Crow want to double stack, but I'm very confused why Connor Sport did not pit in, at least pit in one of their driver to maybe Rose or Ruby to maybe, you know, do a little undercut. But this is not going to help them out at all, because Naz is on the Inters, and unfortunately for them, she might have a big lead once these two pits. As if they are going to make a double stack, that's going to be a lot of work for the Connor Sport crew. Now, here in comes Ruby. Is Rose coming in? She is. So it is going to be a double stack for Connor Sport. Ruby's in, coming into the pit. She's going on to those Inters, and now here comes the likes of Rose, making her pit stop now. Oh my goodness, I just feel like they're going to lose so much time, as Naz, I think, is going to overtake them. There she goes round the final corner, and as she starts the next lap, lap 8 out of 35, ladies and gentlemen, she now takes the lead. No, she hasn't, no. Ruby actually managed to hang on to the lead. So Ruby managed to overtake Naz to the pit lane. Okay, so Connor Sport actually made a great strategy call for Ruby, but for Rose, well, she's probably going to get overtaken by Washer, because Washer had a great exit, great momentum speed out of the last corner. And as we head into turn 3, here comes Washer to the inside. Washer got the move done. Rose going to try and find this one back. The two of them side by side. I think Rose is using her battery to try and stay ahead of Washer, and she does got the move done. Rose up into P5. Washer definitely tried it, but Rose managed to hang on for now. And I think that's Claudia ahead of him as well. So Claudia, no, that's not Claudia, that's Kaylin actually ahead of him. But back to this fight. This is a fight for the lead. Naz and Ruby, they've been fighting it out ever since they made their first pit stop onto the Inters, and Ruby got to be back away. Back the lead to Ruby. Ruby's back into first place. Naz in second place. And now this might be turning into the fight for the lead on the race. The two drivers, remember, fighting it out for the championship, might do battle here in the wet in Austria. we might be in for a very, very good fight, ladies and gentlemen, because Naz is going to give Ruby a lot of pressure, and as we skip to her move coming up the hill now on lap 9 out of 35. DRS is disabled, remember. It's all about managing battery usage, as there goes Naz to the inside. Oh, there's contact between the two. They nearly went off the track, but Naz managed to hold the line and get the lead away from Ruby. Oh, that was very, very close to a big incident there, but they managed to keep it cool, keep it clean. But there was definitely wheel banging, and as we go into the move, into the lights of turn 4 on lap 10, Ruby was trying for the move there. Can't find the move done, but maybe there could be an opportunity into turn 4. She's gaining and gaining on the lights of Naz. Move into turn 4. No, too far behind. Naz just managed to stay ahead, as now we're watching this fight between the likes of Rose, possibly the likes of Washer and Kaylin, having a great fight there. Washer to the inside, got past Kaylin, and now he's up into P5, maybe P4, but Kaylin's gonna fight this one back. The two of them side by side. Washer versus Kaylin. Kaylin to the inside into turn 7, coming into the kick on turn 8, and got the move done. What a brilliant move from Kaylin, up into P5. Wow, there is fighting going on all over the place here in the Red Bull Ring. So much action as we're now watching the likes of Fritton actually giving the likes of your boy King Rasa a little bit of pressure. Lap 11 out of lap 35 now as we come into the likes of turn 1, and I can say Washer is actually catching, Fritton is actually catching the likes of King Rasa, but Maddie's going to make the move on Washer. Washer is dropping positions, and Maddie from the Visa Bulls got the move done. She's up into P6. Oh, virtual safety car, and it's Fritton. Fritton for the Williams. Washer's teammate Fritton has pulled to the right hand side. Aiden just got past him, and with a reliability issue, Fritton is out of the Austrian Grand Prix. Oh dear, I think that's Williams' probably second reliability issue of the season, and that's not going to help them at all, unfortunately. But we're going to go back racing, and it's all eyes on Washer. Washer, yes, again, he's leading the team. He needs to lead this team back to success, and maybe have a good momentum, because I gotta say, that virtual safety car definitely caught Maddie off guard. She had a poor getaway, and Washer could be favouring the move. Can the Maddie defend? No, she can't. Well, actually, yes, she does, because Washer actually lost a little bit of time around the final corner, and that's bring Josh B into play down the inside. The FAX Season 1 champion having another go at Washer. Can't find the move done. He has to slot his way back into place as he has to try and fight for another day, but now needs to watch his mirrors, because the likes of Emily might be getting herself involved. Out of the lights on turn 3, now into the little slipstream, just little straight, I must say, coming up into turn 4. She lost a little bit of time, and Washer is gaining back on the likes of Maddie, and Josh managed to keep Emily at bay for now on lap 14 out of 35. And now we're watching the two McLaren Shadows might be doing battle. I gotta say, Matty, he's doing a good job out there. He's actually doing a good job, but I would want him to try and catch the likes of Shay to maybe finish in the points, because your boy King Raza is right behind him, and we might see the two McLaren Shadows do battle here in Austria for the first time. King Raza giving Matty a lot of pressure, and Matty is doing a fair job of keeping King Raza at bay as we head now into turn 1. If King were to get a good exit out of that corner, maybe there could be an opportunity into the big broken zone on turn 3. Here we go. King Raza versus Matty. Teammates versus teammate. No opportunity. King Raza can't find a move there in turn 3, but maybe there might be the last opportunity, and that is turn 4. Here comes the likes of King Raza. He's pulled to the inside. What can Matty do to the fence? Nothing. King Raza got the move done. He's coming to P11. Great move for your boy King Raza, the reigning champion, up into P11, but Matty's staying really close with him, maybe favour the move in the next few corners, but can't find the opportunity. He has to stay in P12 for now, and your boy King Raza has got that move done and dusted, and now maybe he could try and bring that team to the top 10 and try and catch down the likes of Shea. It's going to be a big ask, but they have to try something. They really have to try something, because I have to say McLaren Shadow, they're still struggling in there. They're still struggling. King Rats is still struggling, but Matty's not favouring the move. But oh my goodness, Lily, where the heck did she come from? She just got past both McLaren Shadow cars. They go into P11. Unbelievable stuff from Lily. Fair play. She got the move done, and I gotta say, McLaren Shadow definitely gonna be. Well, they're going to be shaking their heads after that. How they got fouled by the likes of Lily. Crazy stuff. That's Washer down the inside of Maddie. He was trying to give Maddie a little bit of pressure, and finally got the move done. He's up into P6. Great move for the Lassie Williams car, and now he can try and chase the likes of Kaden. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the rain has stopped. DRS is now being enabled. It's been re-enabled, so we're going to see some drivers coming into the pits for the slicks. Yet again, it's all about strategy. Who is going to come in first? Who is going to do undercutting each other? And that's Naz. Naz has come in first, and now she's going to be going for that undercut on the likes of Ruby. Let's see what Ruby and Motorsport will do, because Claudia for the McLaren Chrome is in, and the likes of Kaylin's in as well. So McLaren Chrome, they did a double stack. That's good news for Claudia for the road results, but for Kaylin, well, she got some work to do, because she's going to drop some positions. So yeah, she has to fight through the field yet again. Rose come out in P5, Claudia in P4, then Washer out in P6. Kaylin is 7th. She's on the softs, by the way. Most drivers actually on the mediums, as Emily in 8th, Shay 9th, Josh in 10th, your boy King Laz 11th, Agent in 12th, Lily 13th. Matty unfortunately lost some time because McLaren Shadow had double stack, but he's down in P14, so that's not good news for him. Brandon Howe, he was looking very good actually at the start of the race, but unfortunately strategy didn't pay off for the Alpine today, as he dropped down to P16, Ziza P17, and Ruby has pitted from the lead of the race to go onto the sauce. And here comes Naz round the final corner, who is gonna re-overtake Ruby for the lead of the race. So all I can say is that the fight is on. The race is on for this race win. It's between Naz and Ruby for this race win, and if Naz wins, I think she will take the lead on the championship no matter what happened, because what about Cardia? Cardia's down P3, but if Ruby wins, I think she'll be in second, or maybe leading the championship, closing in the likes of Naz. So this is paying big favour for the likes of Naz and Ruby for that championship, as we watch Washer making a very big aggressive overtake on the likes of Kaden. He got to be done on the likes of mediums. Yeah, and he did it on mediums, and Kaden's on the softs. Yeah, man, somebody's definitely up with McLaren Chrome today. They are not looking very good for the likes of the Williams to overtake the McLaren Chrome. That is something crazy to see, as Kaylin has closed back on the likes of Washer, and I'm sure she's going to try and get this move done, overtake done and dusted again, but we know how good Washer is with defending, so it's not going to be easy. But now with the DRS boost, and possibly with the ERS battery down the inside, Kaylin goes, and Kaylin getting the move done. But Washer, he's going to try and fight himself back, but he has to stay put in P6 for now. Just for now, because I just feel like Washer might get this move back and done over with Kaden. So we have to wait and see, but it's looking like Kaden might got this move done, because she has pulled away a little bit on the likes of Washer, or actually because Washer actually got the DRS back on her, and I think Washer might be looking for the move into turn 1. No move there, but possibly into turn 3, using the battery, using the DRS, and even before we get into the braking zone, Washer is ahead of Kaylin. Crazy stuff. And meanwhile, those two are having a great fight. Shay and Maddie having a great fight for the likes of P7. Maddie got the move done before we get into the breaker zone of turn 4. Josh B sending it down the inside of Emily. Emily's going to try and defend this one. This is not the Emily we used to have, by the way, over the past few rounds. But Emily is going to send it back down the inside on Josh. This is turning into a great fight between these two drivers. But Emily getting the move done. She's ahead of Josh, but Josh is still going to look for the move. Still going to look for the opportunity. But Emily got that one coming off. And now she stays in P9, but Josh has got the DRS. Maybe there might be opportunity into turn 1. No, but turn 3. If you get a good exit, have the DRS, have the ERS. There he goes. He's going to slingshot past the likes of the Lamborghini. He's up into P9. And now we're watching the likes of Washer make the move on Kaylin. These two have been fighting it out for so long and just keep on swapping positions. But Washer gets the move done on Kaylin. But Kaylin's still going to try and fight her back into turn 6. Oh, that was close. That was really close. Very, very close between those two drivers, but Washer just managed to hang on to that position. But Kaylin is not giving up. She's not giving up. She's on the sauce, and those softs are still looking very mighty here. But Washer had a great exit. He had a brilliant exit, I gotta say. Brilliant exit out of that final corner. As he skips the laps later on to lap 25 out of 35 now. 10 laps to go here at the Red Bull Ring. Claudia now has closed in on the likes of Rose. This is the fight for the last spot on the podium. Claudia, DRS enable, using the battery as well. Claudia to the inside, the likes of Rose, down the inside. Rose gonna try and fight her back, but she hasn't got the DRS. It's Claudia, and she got the move done. Claudia, P3 for her. Great start between these two drivers as there comes the likes of Kaylin down the inside of Washer, and Kaylin get the move done as well. These two drivers keep on position, but Washer's going to try it. Oh my goodness, that was so close. He tried it. He tried it in the likes of turn 6, but no move there, no room there. Kaylin covered that one off, and now he has to settle for P6 for now, Washer. But my goodness, that was very, very close to contact, but they managed to keep that one clean as we head round the final corner, watching Maddie, Josh, Emily, O'Shea, full car fight for P7, but Rose trying to re-overtake Claudia for the likes of P3, and Rose getting the move done. She's back up into 3rd place, and now what can Kaylin do? Because now she has the DRS, and now she has the advantage. Is there going to be the move into turn 4? Yes, there is. DRS down the inside. Kaylin got the move done. Oh, sorry, that's Claudia, not Kaylin. Claudia get the move done. Claudia up into P3, but Rose gonna try and fight from the back, side by side, into turn 6. They're still fighting it out. Claudia managed to hang on, shut the door, close the door off Rose, and she's up into P3. This has turned into a great fight between Claudia and Rose, but look at that. Claudia has now pulled a gap between her and Rose, because Rose actually made a mistake around the final corner, so that's not good news for her. But Claudia might got that P3 done and done with, as Washer now still trying to defend against Kaylin. Kaylin has the DRS. Kaylin is still going to try everything she can to try and get past the likes of Washer. Washer versus Kaylin. Kaylin to the inside. Kaylin got the move done, but Washer has the DRS, and he's going to re-overtake the likes of Kaylin into the braking zone on turn 4. There he goes. Washer back up into P5. These two cannot decide who deserve that position, but as we skips a laps later, 29 as 35, Naz, yes, Naz has come into the pits. But what in the world is Visibles thinking? Naz is in, she dropped down to P9, made that P10 actually. She's down to P10. Ruby, by the way, Ruby have not pitted. So this is turning into a very interesting end to this Austrian Grand Prix, as we're watching these guys having a great fight for P7, I must say. Ruby, I think Ruby's going to try and continue on the sauce for 9 laps. She's been on the sauce for 9 laps, by the way, to the end of the race. But Naz, she has pitted for fresh sauce. So this is going to turn a little bit nervy for Naz and for Visa Bulls, because Visa Bulls think that Naz might be able to win from fresh sauce from P10 with only 5 laps to go to try and fight our way up to the field to get P1. But Motorsport, I think they're going for something different. They're going to try and stay on these worn out softs to the end, and if Naz catch up to Ruby, I must say, then Ruby got a lot of work to do. She has to do everything she can to try and keep Naz at bay, but Naz is making moves. She's already up to P7. She's now 7th place, and I must say, Ruby might be a little bit of trouble here, but she got to pray and hope some of these drivers can keep Naz at bay, keep her behind as much as possible. But this might be a little bit nervy times for the likes of Ruby, because we're on lap 34 into the final lap of this race, and you can just see Naz there in your mirror. The car DJ has pulled to one side. This is it. Final lap, Naz has done the unthinkable from P10 on fresh sauce to P2 and maybe make it P1. Ruby, DRS, but look at the likes of Naz closing her down like a horse. Here she comes into turn 4. Can't find a move there, but with the grip, she has more grip with Ruby. Side by side these two go. Ruby trying to hang it, but Naz to the outside. Got the move done. Oh my goodness, Naz have done the unthinkable here in the Red Bull ring. This is definitely a championship drive. Visa Bulls could with their strategy, and because of that, Naz wins here in Austria. My goodness, donkey do, what do we just watch? Naz has won the Austrian Grand Prix. We thought that strategy call from Visa Bulls would not work, but Naz just proved to her why she can be champion here in FA Season 5. Fair play to Ruby and Motorsport. They tried something different, but it did not pay off. Ruby was on worn out sauce and she just couldn't keep Naz at bay. Ruby gonna be disappointed, but she has to be happy with 2nd place. But Claudia, she finished in 3rd. That's something to take away from this race as well. But McLaren Chrome, they definitely got some work to do, because they have fallen behind the likes of Motorsport and the likes of Visa Bulls. But well done to Naz. What a drive from her today. So here's the results. Naz, what a win, what a drive. I was honestly just shocked by that play, but it has paid off as Ruby has to settle for P2. Claudia 3rd, Washer, well done to him yet again. P4 for Lasse Williams, even though Fritton had that retirement. As Emily P5 yet again. Somehow Emily managed to find her way back into the top 5. Crazy stuff. Shay 6th, then Rose, Josh, Caitlin, Maddie, King Razor, Lily, Agent, Matty, Brandon L, Zai, DJ, your 3 retirees of Fritton, Terrace and Soraya. And as you look at the championship standings, this is what it looked like, ladies and gentlemen. It is Naz now. She has now taken the lead of the championship, only by 1 point ahead of Claudia, who dropped down to P2. But now Ruby is slowly closing in on these two in 3rd place. Then Kaylin in 4th, Washer 5th, Emily, King Razor, Josh, Rose, Lily, Zai, Maddie, Shay, Fritton, Soraya, Brandon Al, Terrace, Agent, Matty and DJ. That is your championship standings. And finally your constructor standings. McLaren Chrome still leading the way. Motorsport 2nd, Visa Bulls, then Williams, Lambo Trizone, McLaren Shadow, Lambo Neon, Red Bull Shera, Peugeot E-Drive and Alpine Reyes. That is your constructor standings, and that's how we conclude this episode. But my, this episode was absolutely great. But I think this championship might be turning into a 3-way fight, because Kaylin, she's losing touch to Naz, Kali and Ruby. But that will tell for another day. But thank you all for watching. What a great episode that was. And next up, it is Silverstone. What's going to happen in the British Grand Prix? We'll find out when FA returns. Bye bye and good night.